Have you ever caught a woman looking at you, only for her to quickly look away? Maybe it happened at a coffee shop, maybe at the gym, maybe while walking through a crowded street. For a brief moment, your eyes meet, and then she's gone. No smile, no conversation, no approach. And you're left wondering, was she interested? Did I imagine it? If she liked me, why didn't she come talk to me? Most men immediately jump to the wrong conclusion. They assume attraction works like a movie. They think if a woman is interested, she'll make it obvious. They'll expect clear signs, direct compliments, and bold approaches. But real life doesn't work that way. The Stoics understood something powerful about human nature. People rarely reveal their true thoughts openly. Most people communicate through actions, not words. And when it comes to attraction, this becomes even more true. Today, we're going to explore why women often stare at certain men but never approach them. Not from the perspective of dating gurus, not from manipulation tactics, but through the lens of Stoic wisdom, emotional intelligence, confidence, and human psychology. Because once you understand these principles, you'll stop chasing validation and start recognizing what truly makes a man magnetic. 1. People are drawn to what appears unmoved. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the rock against which the waves continually break." Think about that for a moment. The world is filled with people desperately trying to be noticed, trying to impress, trying to prove themselves, trying to convince everyone around them that they're valuable. But the strongest presence in any room is often the person who isn't seeking attention at all. Women notice this, not consciously. Not because they're analyzing your behavior like a scientist, but because emotional stability is rare. When a man appears calm, composed, and comfortable in his own skin, he stands out immediately. He isn't scanning the room for approval. He isn't performing. He isn't begging for attention. And that creates curiosity. Curiosity creates observation. Observation often looks like staring. But curiosity doesn't automatically create action. A woman may notice your presence. She may feel attracted, yet she still might never approach. Because attraction and action are two completely different things. So fear exists on both sides. Many men assume they're the only ones afraid of rejection. They're not. Women experience fear too. In fact, many women face a unique challenge. Society often teaches them to be cautious, to protect themselves, to avoid situations that might feel uncomfortable or unsafe. So even when attraction exists, hesitation can exist alongside it. She might think, what if I'm wrong? What if he's not interested? What if I embarrass myself? What if he's already taken? Notice something important. These questions sound remarkably similar to the questions men ask themselves. Because beneath confidence, appearances, and social roles, human beings share the same fears. The Stoics taught that fear often comes from imagination rather than reality. We suffer more in our minds than in actual events, and many opportunities disappear. Because both people are trapped inside their own assumptions. So if a woman stares but never approaches, it doesn't automatically mean she isn't interested. It may simply mean she's experiencing the same uncertainty many men experience every day. The mystery creates attention. There's a strange truth about human nature. People become fascinated by what they cannot immediately understand. The loud man is easy to understand. The attention-seeking man is easy to understand. The man constantly talking about himself is easy to understand. But the quiet, confident man, he's harder to figure out. And that mystery often creates attention. Stoicism isn't about becoming silent. It's about becoming intentional. When your words are measured, your emotions controlled, and your actions deliberate, people naturally pay closer attention because they are searching for clues. They're trying to understand what makes you different. A woman may look repeatedly because she's trying to read your energy, trying to understand your personality, trying to determine whether her initial impression was correct. But many people never act on curiosity. They simply observe. And observation can continue for weeks, months, or even years without a single conversation. 4. Confidence is more visible than you think. Most men misunderstand confidence. They think confidence means dominance, loudness, aggression, showing off. But genuine confidence looks different. It's visible in how you walk, how you sit, how you respond to stress, how you treat people, how you handle awkward situations. True confidence doesn't announce itself. It reveals itself. A Stoic man doesn't need constant recognition. He already knows his worth, and that inner certainty affects everything. Women often notice this before men realize it, because confidence influences body language more than words. You can't fake relaxed energy for very long. You can't fake emotional stability consistently. You can't fake self-respect indefinitely. Eventually, reality shows. And when confidence is authentic, people notice. 5. Most people never act on their feelings. Here's a reality few people discuss. Attraction is common. Action is rare. Every day, people see someone attractive. Every day, people become curious. Every day, people wonder what if. Yet most never do anything about it. Why? Because action requires courage. The Stoics respected courage above comfort. Courage means acting despite uncertainty. Unfortunately, uncertainty stops most people. Not because they lack desire, but because they fear consequences. So a woman may stare 10 times, 20 times, 50 times, and still never approach. Not because attraction isn't there, but because courage isn't there either. Human beings are often spectators in their own lives, watching opportunities pass while waiting for perfect certainty. Perfect certainty never arrives. 6. Your energy speaks before you do. Long before words are exchanged, people form impressions. Your posture speaks. Your facial expressions speak. Your emotional state speaks. Your habits speak. A man carrying resentment, insecurity, or desperation often broadcasts it without realizing. Likewise, a man carrying peace broadcasts that too. Stoicism teaches mastery over internal chaos, not suppression. Mastery, there's a difference. Suppressing emotions means pretending. Mastering emotions means understanding them without becoming controlled by them. When a man develops this ability, his presence changes. People feel comfortable around him, safe around him, interested in him. Women may not consciously identify why, but they often sense it. And that sensing frequently begins with observation, a glance, then another, then another. Because energy often attracts attention before personality has a chance to speak. 7. High-value men don't chase every signal. One of the biggest mistakes men make is becoming obsessed with signs. She looked at me. She smiled. She glanced twice. She sat nearby. What does it mean? The Stoic answer is simple. It means very little until action follows. A disciplined man doesn't become emotionally attached to possibilities. He remains grounded in reality. Reality is what happens, not what might happen. Not what could happen, not what you hope happens. This mindset is powerful because it prevents desperation. And ironically, desperation is one of the least attractive qualities a person can display. The more attached you become to every glance, the weaker your frame becomes. The stronger your self-control, the less dependent you become on external validation, and that independence itself becomes attractive. 8. Women often test safety before interest. Attraction isn't always the first question. Sometimes safety is. Many women observe before interacting because they're evaluating character. How do you treat strangers? How do you treat service workers? How do you react when frustrated? How do you carry yourself? Character reveals itself through small moments. The Stoics believed character is destiny, because who you are internally eventually becomes visible externally. A woman may stare because she's gathering information, watching, observing, evaluating, not in a manipulative way, simply trying to understand whether you're someone worth knowing. People do this constantly. Most just don't realize they're doing it. Yes, the most attractive men are focused elsewhere. There is something incredibly powerful about purpose. A man pursuing meaningful goals radiates a different energy. He's not centered around gaining attention. He's centered around building a life. And people notice. Women notice. Friends notice. Employers notice. Everyone notices. Why? Because purpose creates direction. Direction creates confidence. Confidence creates presence. And presence attracts attention. The Stoics repeatedly emphasized focusing on what is within your control. Your actions, your habits, your discipline, your character. Ironically, when a man becomes focused on these things, he often receives more attention than when he was actively seeking it. 10. Sometimes they simply find you attractive. Let's address the obvious possibility. Sometimes a stare is exactly what you think it is. Physical attraction, nothing more, nothing less. Not every glance contains a hidden story. Not every look signals destiny. Not every interaction is deeply meaningful. Sometimes someone sees an attractive person and looks. That's normal. The mistake comes when men either exaggerate the meaning or completely dismiss it. The Stoic approach is balance. Observe reality without exaggeration, without fantasy, without insecurity, without arrogance. Just reality. Someone looked. Interesting. Now continue living your life. This mindset protects your peace. 11. Validation is a dangerous addiction. Many men secretly become addicted to attention. Every stare becomes a source of self-worth. Every compliment becomes emotional fuel. Every rejection becomes emotional devastation. The Stoics warned against placing your happiness in the hands of others, because whatever others control can also be taken away. If your confidence depends on attention, you'll constantly need more attention. If your confidence depends on approval, you'll constantly need more approval. That's a fragile foundation. Real confidence comes from self-respect. Self-respect comes from discipline. Discipline comes from consistent action. And that foundation remains strong regardless of who is looking or who isn't. 12. The Stoic secret. Most men miss. The greatest irony is this. The men who obsess over being noticed usually become less noticeable. The men who focus on becoming stronger, wiser, calmer, healthier, and more disciplined often become naturally attractive, not because they're trying to attract attention, but because excellence attracts attention automatically. The Stoics never taught people to chase admiration. They taught people to chase virtue, to become better, to improve character, to master themselves. And when self-mastery develops, external results often follow naturally. Not always, but often. Conclusion. So why do women keep staring at you but never approach? Maybe they're curious. Maybe they're attracted. Maybe they're evaluating. Maybe they're uncertain. Maybe they're afraid. Or maybe they're simply observing. The truth is, you'll never fully know. And that's okay, because Stoicism teaches a deeper lesson. You don't need to control what others think. You don't need to decode every glance. You don't need validation from strangers. Your job is simpler. Build your character, master your emotions, strengthen your mind, pursue your purpose, carry yourself with dignity, and let the world respond however it chooses. Because the strongest man isn't the one who gets the most attention. The strongest man is the one who remains centered whether people notice him or not. And paradoxically, that's often the man people can't stop looking at.